morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's around the middle of the week, and that means it's time to return to the Level 1 podcast. On today's show, I want to talk about Black Friday because we've discussed this on and off, what we're going to do, and we haven't really decided yet. Well, time is flying. We're almost halfway into November. We still don't know what we're going to be doing for our next big special event. Let's try to hammer that out today, and at the very least have a general idea of what we'll be doing. But in addition, today's a more chilled day. I'm excited to continue with Outer Worlds 2 and get into the meat of it. Curious on what's everyone else's mind. No real game news or anything today. More of a laid-back show, but that's okay. It's going to be a good one. So sit back and relax. It's time for a midweek edition of the Level 1 podcast. Alrighty, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, the 11th of November, 2025. I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 podcast, returning after a day away yesterday so we could focus on Pokemon and make major progress in the game, which we did. It was great, and the playthrough continues, swimmingly. So today we're back. There's only 2 more podcasts today and one coming up on Thursday. You might say, well, what's the reasoning there? Friday is the big new release of Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and I want to heavily focus on that on release day. Therefore, I'm going to skip the podcast that day, and I said, well, let's try to space out the shows so that we can have one every other day. And again, I'm trying to make as much progress in Pokemon as possible, so I'm trying to time it so that the Pokemon stream days are the days when I'm not doing a podcast. So I hope that makes sense. As you know, I prefer doing the podcast when there's more going on, when there's a big topic at hand or some gaming news. It just kind of sucks right now, I'm not going to lie. The timing's a little off. Tomorrow, I guess there's going to be the release of the trailer for Super Mario Galaxy movie, as well as, I guess, some kind of a Sony Japanese direct event that's supposed to cover Japanese-centric Sony games. So, to be honest, it probably would have been a little better if I was doing a podcast tomorrow, but the timing is what it is. We will be doing another show on Thursday where I'll probably cover those topics. If, there's big stuff to react to, for example, this Mario movie trailer, I'll probably react to that on that show coming up, okay? So, with all of the game news seemingly coming later on in the week, the question is, what do we have to talk about today? Well, obviously, we could talk about all the playthroughs and things that I'm doing and where we are, but to be honest, there's not that much of an update since Sunday. Pokemon is continuing. We haven't gotten near the end yet, but we're getting there. We're making good progress every time we play it. Tormented Souls 2, we made some great progress. We're now in the 4th out of 6 major dungeon locations in the game, so we're more than halfway done with that. Mortal Kombat has been going good every time that we play it, but now I feel like we're getting to the point where either we have to play the odds and ends that are left, or we're going to have to start going back to other content. For example, maybe you want to see me go back to Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. I don't know. We're playing it tonight. It really is up to you guys what you want to see. The bummer about the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, they still didn't update it. It's been out for a week and a half. The online play is still busted. They didn't fix it. They're claiming there's going to be this online arcade update coming that's going to add features and make the online play more viable, but it's still in the works. So we're kind of stuck just doing offline content in this collection until they make the online play worthwhile. It's just not right now. So we're kind of, waiting. So we got, progress in each playthrough that I'm doing, But to be honest, there's nothing major to really talk about. Today we're playing Outer Worlds 2, and I am hoping that today we will have major progress and an update and something to talk about, because when I played Outer Worlds 2 back on Sunday, the question was, would it be any good? So I played it for 2.5 hours on Sunday. And the answer that I have for you right now is I have no idea, because the game had a 2-hour-long intro to introduce certain gameplay mechanics and story, but then the game fast forwards 10 years in the timeline, and then the game begins. I touched down on the first world. I played for like 15 minutes, and we were out of time. So I really don't know if I like the game yet, because we've barely played it. Today, I should get a big, meaty chunk into Outer Worlds 2, and everyone who's been coming by for the last 2 days asking, hey, is it any good? I should have a better answer for you after today's stream. Sorry that I don't have a good answer for you now, because I don't feel like we got far enough in the game to really give any kind of a quantifiable response. So, someone says the stream died. No, it didn't. The stream is good. Or did something happen on YouTube? It looks like it's working for me. Hopefully it's working for all of you. Looks like it's working for me. Okay? So, there you have it. The only other big update that I really want to address before we start talking about other topics such as Black Friday. So, there's been some drama on my Kick channel over the last week. Notably, the drama was that about a week and a half ago, I actually gave a new feature to the people on Kick. Allow me to explain. I need to give backstory because it's so convoluted and confusing. So allow me to explain. Months ago, okay, Kick instituted a new system by which when you watch someone's channel, you earn channel points. Can you use those channel points for anything? A few little things, but nothing major. So, for example, you can wager the channel points for, like, guessing, like predictions, they call them. So let's say, for example, I don't know, I'm playing American Truck Sim. A moderator like Dunsfelter would put up a prediction saying, will Phil finish this job within the next 20 minutes? And then people would wager their channel points and either win or lose them depending on what actually happens and how they voted, okay? In addition, there are highlighted messages on the Kick chat where if you can use your channel points you've accrued, you can get a message that pops up that shows a certain color and is like a highlight on the screen. And you can have the ability to have text in there or use emotes, all right? So when these channel points launched months ago, I turned it on right away. I was like, oh, this is cool. Let's turn it on. This is similar to what we used to have over on Kick, or excuse me, over on Twitch. And I like that feature, right? I want to give more features to my viewers. Immediately, we find all these problems with the system, okay? The problem is trolls can basically accrue the points, do highlighted messages that are awful. You know, they could do doxing, they could do racist, sexist things, bigoted things, insulting my family members, horrible things, right? Okay, we'll ban the trolls. Oh, that doesn't solve it. They could still do the highlighted messages even when they're banned. So they can't chat, but they can send highlighted messages that everyone can see. So what's the point then, right? So immediately we saw this is a big problem because trolls started doing horrible things. And again, it's one thing if it's like it's a stupid insult or whatever, but we were having people doing heinous things like doxing and stuff. You can't have that, okay? So I had to turn off the highlighted messages for like 2 months because of this, okay? So about a week and a half ago, people in Kick Chat kept bugging me saying, hey, are you aware they fixed this loophole, this problem? I was like, no, I'm not aware that they fixed it, okay? So people just kept asking me for 2-3 days straight, will you turn them on? Will you turn them on? Will you turn them on? And finally I was like, all right, fine. I'll turn on the messages. Since you guys keep bugging me for it, I'll just do it. So I turned them on, and then sadly, it almost felt like a cause and effect. I turned on the text messages for moral support. That's what I call it, moral support. And when I did that, I'm not kidding, for 2 to 3 straight days, I got almost no support whatsoever via subs or kicks on Kick. And it was almost like a direct 1-to-1 ratio. I turn on a new feature to give something more to my viewers, and my viewers started like not supporting anymore. What happened? So I'll be honest. Yes, I got upset, which I shouldn't have. And I apologize for that now. I shouldn't have been getting angry about that. Instead, I should have sat down and had a conversation with everyone about it. But what happens is there's a troll element. And everyone knows that my Kick chat, I just talked about this yesterday on stream, actually. There's a difference between my Kick chat and my YouTube chat. Allow me to explain. The YouTube streaming I've been doing now since 2021, okay, daily. And the people who watch me on YouTube are my longtime viewers, my longtime supporters, people who've been with me for 17 plus years, who like my stuff, or they're people who maybe are more recent newcomers, but they like the positive element of my streams. They actually like the content. They like me and my personality. They want to hang out. So the YouTube chat is a place to do that. It's more moderated. It's more, I don't want to say safe, but it feels more like a place where you can kind of chill and have a good time. The Kick chat is freaking rowdy. All right? The Kick chat is literally at all times full of action. The chat moves way faster than the YouTube chat. People can use motion emotes and things in the Kick chat to keep it moving. We have the moral support messages that people are tossing into the chat constantly. So the chat rate's higher and people are way more energetic and boisterous. But hand in hand with that comes the trolling element. As you know, a year ago, I was introduced to Kick by Kino Casino. And as a result of working with them, they tried to convince me to do stuff on Kick, so I started, and I've been streaming on Kick and YouTube for a year now, right? So what's happened is since I cut off Kino Casino and I don't work with them anymore, the people who like them essentially have kept watching me exclusively on Kick. And they're definitely a trolling element. And I understand that. I explained this yesterday, but I kind of want to break it down in a way that makes sense on the show today, okay? I'm okay with having two audiences. Okay? I am. And I feel now in the modern day, it makes sense to have two audiences. One audience that really likes me and positively supports all my content, and one audience that's there to kind of razz me every day, to make fun of me or whatever. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is those who take it to the extreme. Those who are attacking my family members, those who are trying to literally lie about me every day and say things that literally don't happen and act like they're factually true things, okay? But if you just want to sit there and you want to kind of make fun of me and you want to razz me and you want to do this stuff, I'm okay with that. Really, I am. And the Kick chat, 100% is the place to do it. That way we kind of have that controlled element. If you want to be more positive, you want to be more of a bigger fan of my content and support it in a positive way, YouTube side. If you want to kind of be the razzing crowd that's active and rowdy and tossing emotes and making fun of me, Kick side. I'm okay with that. And that's a very different attitude. You have to understand, for many, many years back in the day, I was always, how dare you be critical of me? How dare you make fun of me and laugh at me? This is how you don't play. How could you look at my content and try to make fun of it? My content's the best on the internet, and that's absolutely ridiculous that you would do that, right? Today, I'm way more open to it. I just don't really care, to be honest. Okay, everyone does it anyway. If we have an environment here where we can have that in my content and I can control it, and let's be honest, I can make a buck on it, then it's all good, right? Who gives a shit? So what happened was last week, really, and this is my fault, I got into a bad mood about everything that was going on Kick. It literally looked like it was a direct response to me giving a new feature, giving back these highlighted moral support text messages. I turned them on, and then for like 3 days, no support at all. Okay? Seriously. And it really upset me. It did. So basically, I was lashing out, and I was arguing with people in the Kick chat about it. And we went back and forth for several different days about it, right? And then finally, I want to say it was like Sunday night. It was Sunday night. I came to a realization, okay? I was thinking about it, and I was like, in reality, me arguing with a certain audience isn't going to ever improve anything. It's not. It's just going to make things worse. It's going to give people this content that they want, where they can selectively pick parts of a stream and try to showcase it as that was the whole stream and say, see, all Phil did was argue with his audience, because that's exactly what happened. People cherry picked, and they're like, so Phil said he got no contributions, and therefore he argued with his audience and says he's not going to give them anything ever again. Literally not what happened. I've been doing great. I've been hitting all of my goals. Support has been outstanding. In general, things are really positive and good right now. So what? How could you say that I'm making no money? I'm angry that no one's supporting me, and I'm not going to give you anything. It doesn't make any sense. But that's how it's portrayed on the internet because that's what people do. They cherry pick the moments, and they try to fucking portray it like that's what happened when it's not what happened. Okay. So after thinking about this, I was like, I've got a change of heart. All right. And what I want to do is I want to try to completely flip this on its head. Instead of being a grumpy old man, where I'm not going to get anywhere being a grumpy old man, I'm going to completely change my attitude. So I went ahead and I added back the moral support messages with text, but I said, you got to use 500 channel points to do it. This way, this will avoid nonstop spamming. Because if I had it as 100 points, literally the entire chat would have been the messages, right? So I said, let's do it for 500 points or more redeemed. Let's bring back these messages. Now people can actually do, emotes, messages, or whatever. Okay. So I did that as of Sunday night. Okay. That was during the Tormented Souls 2 stream. In addition, there were some people who I had been upset with over the week and I unbanned them. And again, that was my fault, getting upset over nonsense, like literally over nothing. There was no reason for me to be upset because things have been going good. Does it suck when you get a decline in support? It does. But there was no reason for me to lose my cool like I did. Okay? So I ended up unbanning a bunch of people as well. All right? Sunday night, people came to the stream and were like, wait, what? The moral support's back? People are unbanned? This is great. And people started supporting again, and we're very positive and happy. And for the last day and a half, everything's been fine. Everything's been good. Okay? So I just want to make this clear. Nothing's wrong is happening right now. We're good. I understand that the kick side is always going to be the more rowdy, controlling element. I get that. It always will be. That's how it's set up to be. I would rather have people who are like that, who want to kind of, make fun of me, to be on that side and have the YouTube be a different viewing audience. I'm okay with that. I like that, actually. And I've gotten a lot better, I think, at juggling both chats over the last year. It's just that every once in a while, things change or something happens and I get upset. And it's my fault, And so I recognize my mistake. I corrected the mistake. I apologized to people who felt like maybe I was being abrasive over the last week. And we move forward positively and we're all good. Right? Cool. So last night, I'm streaming American Truck Simulator. And everything's going good. We're having a good time and everything. And people are like, are you aware that Asmongold is talking about you right now? No, and I don't care. Everyone talks about me at all times. Every day someone's talking about me, someone's making content about me, something's doing toxic shit about me. They're watching detractor content, they're watching out of context shit. What they never do is watch my live content. So what I mean, like, if people always are going to talk about me, they literally never watch me. They only watch the out of context detractor highlights, which will focus on negative stuff. So, of course, what's the latest negative topic? Oh, well, Phil was really mean to his audience. He said that they gave him no support and he was going to give them nothing from now on, which isn't what happened. What happened was I was talking specifically to the Kick viewers. There had been a big, sharp decline in support. It seemed to be directly in tandem with the moral support message issue. I did react poorly. I had already corrected that attitude. I had given back the messages for 3 streams and everything was good. But Asmongold doesn't know that. He watches the detractor content and thinks that this is what's going on right now. Of course, he fully believes it at face value and thinks that it's all true, and then says stuff about me. So that then in tandem has people talking about me in a negative light. That sends people to my channel in a negative light to troll me. It's the usual stuff. This is nothing different, nothing special. This has happened a zillion times. It will happen a zillion times again. Been there, done that. I'm used to it. It's not a big deal. But this morning, it seems like everyone is just talking about it. Like, why? By the time that these people who do this kind of internet commentary get to the topic's already outdated. That issue literally is already not a big deal. We're already past it and we're already on new days of content and everything's good. So why are we still talking about it? Oh, well, because Asmongold brought it up. I don't give a fuck what Asmongold brings up. Why do I give a shit? Doesn't affect me in any way. Just another wave of people who come to my content and say, oh, you suck, you suck. Okay, great. See you later. And now today is a normal day for me because I don't care. I don't give a shit. You know? So, yeah, no big deal. No worries. We're good. We already have, like I said, we already kind of recovered from it. We're already fine. And I'm sorry. I wholeheartedly admit I was in a bad mood for a few days. I shouldn't have been. All right. I don't even know what really rubbed me the wrong way. It was probably not stuff related to the streams at all. There's other things that happen in real life behind the scenes, some stressful stuff that's been affecting me. And, it can sadly come through in the content, which it shouldn't. And then I got at odds with certain people in chat for no reason. It's just dumb shit, but we learn. We live and we learn and we grow. And, I immediately, when I had that moment of retrospection on Sunday, and I looked at it, I was like, why am I acting like this? Why am I upset? Things are going good. I'm hitting my goals. The content's getting attention. We're all doing good. Why am I upset? I literally couldn't think of a reason. Like, I don't know why I'm upset and I'm at odds with the Kick chat. It doesn't seem to make sense. And then I realized, oh yeah, that's kind of how they're supposed to act. That's the point, is that the Kick people are like that. The YouTube people are a different crowd. It's okay. So again, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry that I acted like that, all right? As for Asmongold, I don't give a fuck what he says. I don't even know what he said. I don't care. He literally reacts to detractor content, which is always skewed. If he actually wanted a real perspective on someone, he would actually watch their real content. Like, instead of watching detractor clips on X, he would say, oh, is he streaming right now? Let's see what he's doing. And then tune into the stream and then judge for yourself rather than just the out of context shit. But he doesn't care. He has a giant crowd who watch him, and he literally just watches the clips. He always has. He's a clip watcher, right? Like, that's what he does. So he's going to watch it out of context. He's going to believe it. He's going to make comments. I don't give a shit. I don't. It doesn't affect me. Every day you got people who talk shit about me. It doesn't affect me. I've been here for 17 years. I'm on year 18. I'm going to be here as long as I want. It doesn't matter how many people have something toxic or negative to say about me today. It doesn't affect me. It does. I'll still be here the next day and the next day and the next day, pumping out content, having fun with a good audience, and making a living doing it. And I'm happy for it, and I'm grateful for it. And I'm sorry when I do have times when I get upset about shit and I act in a stupid way. That's what happens. Okay? It is. That's what happens. And I'm sorry for that. I am. Okay? But the truth is, because here you go. Here come the idiots. Well, the only reason that you had a change of heart is because Asmongold talked about you. Asmongold watched the stuff yesterday. I already added the moral support messages and unbanned everyone on Sunday. So unless there was a fucking time machine where I saw his reaction, I went back in time a day and I did it on Sunday, what you're saying makes no sense and you're a fucking idiot. But again, that's the detractor's perspective. We make up a narrative. We invent shit that's not real, and we believe it as our reality because we're mentally ill idiots. So believe what you want. I don't care, but I don't own a time machine. Okay? I don't. Okay. All right. So now that topic's done, let's do some shout outs. Let's say hellos, and then we can get to more interesting topics. Okay? Okay. And that's not true, too. Oh, well, he was talking about how over 15 years you begged for your audience's money. Literally never, ever asked for contributions until my trolls ruined my YouTube channel and made it so I couldn't make a living on ad revenue. All the way up through that when they got me those false copyright strikes, which ruined my channel and made it so that I couldn't make a living on ads anymore, that's when I had to start asking for crowd support. Before then, I never did. And that's a fucking fact. And you can go back and you can watch documentaries that talk about it. Go watch the fucking June the King documentary. That literally shows that there was a year where all my views tanked because false copyright strikes affected my channel, kicked me out of the YouTube algorithm. I couldn't make a living just on ad revenue anymore, and I had to change my model. I literally never intended to be an internet live streamer. I wanted to do on-demand videos. I had to change my model to survive because people fucked with me. So when you complain, oh, I hate that Phil asks for money, then you shouldn't have fucked with my livelihood. I never had to until people did. Now you deal with the repercussions. You don't like the current Phil that asks for contributions? You made the monster. You're Dr. Frankenstein. Now you gotta live with the monster you created, bitches. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad, because you don't have a time machine to go back in time and change what you already did. Tough shit. All right. Let's get back on topic, shall we? Let's do some shout outs. Let's have some cool interactions. And then let's talk about some other stuff. Like I said, in the future, we got to figure out what we're going to be doing on Black Friday. Okay. So, where do we start? We have Cabal, who did a €10 super chat. I want to say, not euro, excuse me, a £10 super chat. I want to say it's like 13 and change. Let's figure that out, since that is our first contribution of the day. Thank you, Cabal. He says, fingers crossed for a fun and chill RPG stream. Hope the performance stays good too. If you mean the game. So it's funny, when I was playing Outer Worlds 2 the other day, I thought it was fine. But then I had some comments on the videos. You're running in ultra performance mode. Aren't you aware that when you run on ultra performance mode, it's 720p resolution, upscaled to 4K. It looks like shit. Your playthrough looks like shit. You got a gaming PC and you're running it like shit. I'm serious. This is how people react. I guess now that I'm into PC gaming, we get these weird reactions like that. I'm like, well, I really don't know, right? I don't know. Is that true? Because I have an ultra performance. Is it actually running at 720p? Should I change it to just regular performance? Or I don't know. I'm still new to this game. I've only been doing PC gaming for a year. To be honest, I really don't understand the technology. I thought it looked fine. Am I a plebeian? Is that what it is? Am I a gaming peon? I don't understand. Then educate me. I need to know what to do. Do you want me to change the resolution today? Or whatever. I'll do it. Let me know. I need to know. There you go. Someone just said, you have a 4070 graphics card, but you're using a TV. You plebeian. Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. All right. Well, today when we play the game, let's figure this out. Yes, I would definitely like to get the game to look better if we can. So let's mess with it a little bit today, I guess. Okay? All right. Thanks a lot. Okay. So thank you, Cabal, for the first super chat of the day. There was, I think there was some kicks on Kick. Let me take a look. I'm pretty sure there were. There were two different kicks from 2. There was 100 kicks and 500 kicks from 220, from what I can see. Okay. 2 groups of kicks from 220. So let's get those up on the leaderboard. Here we go. There was 500 and 100, so that's $6 of support. No, impersonation of people is not allowed. So there's some guy who came into the chat. His name was Your Future Stepson, which, number one, you're trying to basically impersonate your future stepdad, which isn't allowed. Then he started saying some toxic stuff in the chat and he got banned for it. I'm not unbanning it. If he wants to come back, have him make a new account that doesn't impersonate another viewer and try to get people riled up in a negative way. Okay. So there you go. I'm being told, yes, when you increase the performance option in the settings, the internal resolution decreases to offer higher FPS. It's a trade-off. So should we try to figure that out today? So don't go to ultra performance. Do like regular just performance to see what it looks like. See if it significantly improves the graphical look of the game. All right. Tachi Mikinoku got banned because Tachi Mikinoku was being a toxic dick as well. Has nothing to do with what was going on with the moral support messages. So no, I'm not unbanning them either. Okay. What's up, Chris? How you doing? King Michael, how you doing? How's everyone doing this morning, by the way? Obviously, I had a lot to say to start the show. So, how y'all doing this morning? Is everyone doing good? Hopefully, everyone's in good spirits and enjoying themselves. Again, you got to understand something. Literally every day, someone has something toxic to say about me that's completely off base. They don't know what they're talking about. Not a single one of these people who talks about me ever watches my content. Never. They don't come to the content and say, hey, let's see what Phil's up to today. Let's see what Phil has to say actually about this topic or his take on this. Instead, it's, let's watch the tractor highlights all day. Well, then you're going to get one style of content about me, and it just shows your level of intelligence if that's all you do. If you don't actually get the real story, but instead you just want to have a one-sided perspective. Like, again, for example, to prepare for my interview with Wings of Redemption a couple weeks ago, Did I watch detractor content on him? Yes. That allowed me to have that perspective on what people are currently being critical about in regards to wings. Did I literally believe every single thing that I saw in detractor content and then regurgitate it and say toxic things about him when he was on the show? Or did I take it with a grain of salt and use it to form intelligent questions and conversation based around the topics that they had brought up? There you go. So that's what I mean. But with these people on the internet who just react to everything, they're just reacting for the sake of having content and to have a shock value reaction so that people will give them the attention that they crave. That's the kind of content they make. You know, what are you going to do? I'm used to it. It happens every day. I get it. Everyone thinks that I'm a clown or a jerk because they watch toxic content about me instead of the real content. Why is it that when people actually come to these streams and sit here for a while and have fun with me, they're like, wow, that was not half bad. That was pretty good. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe I won't, but a lot of people do come back and end up liking the content because they actually judged it at face value instead of just watching what a detractor said. But again, you got to actually be honest. You got to want to give someone a fair shake to do that. Most people on the internet don't care about that. They just care about making content that will print them money. So who cares if you give someone a fair shake? Just watch the negative shit, right? Oh, well, that's just how it goes, right? Let's see here. Just trying to see if there's anything legit here. Nope. 2 trolls. Okay. Good. You just got to bear with me sometimes because I do get some contributions that are troll contributions. I don't ever waste time with them. Okay? Cool. All right. King Michael says he's doing great. Looking forward to the stream. I'm glad to hear that. Mission, you've already explained how the DLSS works. I don't need to look at an upscaling chart. We'll just mess with it today when we boot the game then. Okay. Did I enjoy my girly drinks last night? Oh, yes. My alcoholic ciders were very girly. Yeah, I tried a new brand of cider, Two Towns Cider House, I think it's called. It's a Pacific Northwest company that does alcoholic cider. And the first one was blueberry. And to be honest, it's a little weird. Again, it's kind of tart. And it's very annoying because I think that cider shouldn't necessarily be all tart. Like there's a place for tartness in the flavor of apples, but not overwhelming. And whenever these people are doing the blueberry flavor, they just take the tartness and not the sweetness of the blueberry. So I didn't really like the blueberry that much. But then I had like just basic cosmic crisp apple flavor. It was delicious. It tasted like someone actually took apples and ground it into like applesauce and put it in a can with alcohol. It was actually really good. And I enjoyed it. So yes, that one I actually really liked. I have another flavor, raspberry. And the question is going to be, is it going to be too tart or is it going to be sweet? You know, what are they going to put in there? I don't know. I guess we'll find out next week. Okay. Cool. All right. So, hope you're all in good spirits and enjoying the show so far. What I'd like to do now is change the topic because what we got to figure out, folks, is we got to figure out what we're going to be doing on Black Friday. For those who don't know, Friday, November 28th, is the day after American Thanksgiving. Traditionally, this is the day when stores have ginormous sales, doorbusters, huge opening, door opening deals. They try to get people to pack the stores that day. All right. Usually they have extended hours. The reason they call it Black Friday is because that's the day traditionally when stores go from the red to the black. What does that mean? It means that's the day they make massive profits for these deals, okay? And it's become more and more of a thing every year in the United States, except now, the last 5 to 10 years, it's become a lot more digital deals. Sales on Amazon, sales on the digital websites, things like that. Some places end up doing their sales earlier than Black Friday, so that way it's not just about, hi Jasper, Jasper's in here today. That way it's not just about having the sale in the store, but you can actually get the digital online sales as well. And that way also, it's not just cramming everyone in one day. You can space it out over, say, a week. So Black Friday is a little different today than it used to be. But traditionally, I usually do some kind of special content on Black Friday. Sometimes I've done a gameplay marathon, like Black Ops Friday, where I play Black Ops all day if there's a new Call of Duty Black Ops game out. Sometimes I used to do Ask the King, which was a Q&A show where I would take your questions and answers. The thing is, we do that every day now. Like literally right now, I talk with you guys and I take your feedback, and we have that kind of a show right now, so I don't really think that would make sense, okay? Um, I've reacted to things in the past. For example, there were 2 years where I did the Adpocalypse, where I would react to old advertisements from all over the world. That worked for a while, but kind of got played out. So we've done all kinds of different content over the course of the years. And to be fair, it all works, but the question is, what do we want to do this year? This year, we have a unique opportunity where we can do all kinds of different things. And people have already come up with certain ideas. Number one, yes, Call of Duty comes out this Friday. And maybe I do a lot of Call of Duty gameplay that day. Okay? I haven't reacted to stuff in a very long time. And when I say reacted, I mean like a documentary or various different videos about a certain person. I haven't reacted to that kind of stuff in a very long time. So maybe we could figure out something that you want to see me react to for the first time in ages, and I could do that during the marathon. Okay? Excuse me. Some people have said, well, that day traditionally is about a day of deals. Why don't you look for deals and look for things that maybe you could shop for that would improve the setup? For example, I need a new controller because the one I'm using right now, the Elite 2, is the only one I have, and it's not great for certain kinds of games. My thumb can attest to this because I just beat Silksong, and I got a big callus on my thumb from that playthrough. So obviously it would be better to have a different kind of controller so that if I have a game there that I'm playing that needs a lot of precise button inputs or whatever, I could get another controller for that. Okay? Now, there's been some other things as well that people have talked about, improvements to the streams and stuff. Maybe I could look for stuff like that, right? But I don't know. Honestly, we've all been talking about this, and I really just don't know what I want to do yet. Okay? Ah! I don't know what I want to do yet. Jasper, do you know what I should do on Black Friday? Jasper Kitty. Jasper. He's not paying any attention. He's in his own world, doing what he wants. Jasper. What are you doing? I can't concentrate because Jasper's on my lap and he's distracting me heavily. He really wants the spotlight today. What are you shaking for? What are you doing? Oh my goodness. All right. So here's the thing. I don't know what I want to do on Black Friday. I still want to talk about it. We got about 2 weeks to figure this out. Okay? And I think that we need to figure it out as soon as possible. If maybe even on this very show. Because I want to start promoting it. I want to start planning for it. If there's preparation I need to do, I want to start making it. And I can't do that until I know what I'm doing. Like, for example, people are saying, well, shopping. Well, what would I be looking for? Definitely a new controller. For sure, I'm interested in a new controller. Okay. I would say a new chair, but honestly, I don't really think I'm ready to do a new chair yet. Because if I do a new chair, I have to redesign the office a bit. For example, the height of all these tables would need to be adjusted. Any chair I get is going to be higher than what I'm sitting in right now, to be honest. And the setup behind me would be different. I might have to, like, figure out a way to height adjust stuff behind me. Because this stuff is all low to the ground. But if I'm in a chair that's height adjustable, and let's say I'm sitting here, now all the tables got to go up, the cameras and everything have to go up. The stuff behind me somehow has to be elevated. So that's got to be like redesigning the office. I'm really not in the mood to do that. You know, I haven't even had this set up for a year yet. And I don't really feel like redesigning the office right now. Okay. I just want to kind of stick to what I'm doing right now. So, but eventually I do want to get a new chair. The trickiness of getting the new chair, excuse me, it has to be fabric. It cannot be any kind of leather or pleather. Reason being, Jasper Kitty has back claws. And as you can see, he jumps on the chair. If he jumps on leather or pleather, he will destroy that chair. So I need to have something that's fabric, and that limits me severely. A lot of these more comfort chairs are meant to be like leather-designed office chairs that are high-end stuff. I can't have that. He'll literally rip it apart. So I don't know if I'm ready for the chair right now. The chair seems fine. But controller, yes. You know, I do need a new laptop, but it's not like a desperate thing. Like the new laptop is kind of needed because this one now, I want to say, is about 4 to 5 years old, and the touchpad is wearing out and having issues. But for what I use it for, the laptop's fine. You know, I guess I could just tough through having an annoying touchpad. I do have an idea or two. I've been teasing this recently, okay? That I do have an idea for some new stuff or new content, but I don't know the feasibility of it and I don't know the cost of it. So I feel like I may have to do a little bit of research um in regards to this before I even present it to you as something that I need to buy stuff for. So I'll need to look into it, but I have some ideas of things that I could possibly do for new content in the future, but it would cost some money. That's the thing. I don't want to drop the money and then be like, "Oh, it wasn't feasible and I kind of wasted my money and time on it." You know what I mean? So there you go. Um there's a high-end RGB gaming chair on sale at Amazon. I don't want an RGB gaming chair. Whatever chair I buy next will be a chair for comfort and adjustability, not a gaming chair. Like this chair, honestly, out of all the chairs I've owned, is the most comfortable chair I've ever owned. It has great lumbar support to this day, and I've had this, 4 years? The lumbar support is still perfect, okay? It's comfortable, it seats me well, and the only problem is it makes a creaking sound, but you don't hear it because I have mic filters. You can't hear. Right now it's creaking. You don't hear it. My mic filters are good enough. You don't hear the creak. So that's been the one complaint I've had about it. Outside of that, it's been a great chair. But I mean, it wears out. The chair definitely, the padding where I'm sitting, everything is worn out and everything. And, I will need a new one eventually. I just don't need it immediately. Excuse me. So I don't know. Maybe it's a matter of seeing what deals are on Amazon that day or other places, and based on the deals that are available, judging if there's stuff on there that I want to buy or not. You know, controller is the one thing I think I absolutely want to buy a new controller no matter what. But outside of that, I'm not sure what else I really want to do that day. So, and if you guys have ideas, things that I could get that would be good for the setup, things that we could do for content, like maybe I could get a new Lego set, because right now we've done the Lego Game Boy, and people were like, hey, well, from time to time, will you build a new Lego on a chill Lego night? Will you have a new thing for your backdrop? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, yeah. Maybe we could find something new for the backdrop, right, that we could have. But, I'd rather get it on that day and save a lot of money than just buy it willy-nilly and pay full price. So maybe we do that. I don't know. I don't know what we'll find, right? Okay. So what do you guys think? By the way, two shout outs. Deserac became a member this morning. Thank you to Deserac for a membership. Let's get that on the leaderboard. And I believe there were some more kicks. Yes, 500 kicks again from 220. You should teach Jasper to claw the trolls. I don't think I'm going to be able to teach my cat to attack trolls through the internet. I'm not sure that's possible. I'm very skeptical about that. But thank you. Okay. So yeah, what do you guys think? What should we do on Black Friday? First off, here's an interesting question. Should Black Friday be a marathon style stream? Or should Black Friday just be 2 regular stream sessions? I don't know. What do you think? I feel like either one could work, but if we're going to do a marathon, there should be a reason for it to be a marathon. Like there's something we're going to be doing that we want it to be a marathon style, you know? I don't know. What do you guys think? That's up to you. Oh, I didn't update the schedule? Oh, crap. I guess I didn't update the schedule yesterday. Let me do that quickly. Sorry about that, everybody. The schedules are outdated by a day. Let's talk Black Friday. What ideas do you have? Tag me in the chats now. What ideas do you have for Black Friday? Do you want to see me do Call of Duty? Do you want to see me do other kinds of gameplay that day? Do you want to see me do some shopping? Do you want to see me react to certain content? If so, what content? What do you want to see me do on Black Friday? All right, let's figure this out now. Let's actually get some good ideas and hopefully lock it in and figure it out. DSP buys it. An IRL shopping stream at the mall. I don't think that is going to happen. 6 Hybrid says people can contribute with super chats to suggest items, and then you find the deals. Like what, though? Like, huh? No, I'm not going to play Black Myth Wukong. What a... What a fart of a game that was, seriously. Everyone's so overhyped Black Myth Wukong, and admittedly, when you first start playing the game, the first 1 to 2 worlds are kinda interesting. Once you get to, like, the 3rd world, it gets boring. The 4th world is like, "What am I playing this for?" And then I just said, "Fuck this game," and quit it, remember? It just wasn't a very good game, but it's hilarious because everyone overhyped it like crazy. Does anyone think about Black Myth Wukong anymore? No one even talks about it, as if it never existed. So, it's kind of a weird anomaly of a game. Shopping and reacting. Well, what kind of reacting? What do you wanna see me react to? Do you have any ideas of something I should watch and react to? The Street Fighter Alpha movie? I think I might have rented it in the '90s and saw it, like, once. Cabal, I don't know about that. Cabal says, "I don't think anyone will talk about Claire Obscure after the Game Awards are gone." I don't know about that. Like, Claire Obscure, for people who like turn-based RPGs, okay? Claire Obscure is arguably the best one in, like, 10 years. It added actual new interesting elements, it had amazing graphics, it had a completely unique story that wasn't cliché. It just is kind of best in class for that style of game. I would argue Claire Obscure was better than both of the last Like a Dragons. Claire Obscure is better than anything Final Fantasy has pumped out in the last decade, by far. Like, it just is the best. But the thing is, people just don't tend to talk about turn-based RPGs too often in the main scheme of things. Yes, they have a place. Yes, they have a fan base, but, you know, parrying doesn't belong in a turn-based game. I don't know if I agree with that. It adds an action element. I mean, that kind of stuff started way back with Super Mario RPG, and that game felt completely unique in the '90s because it had an action-based element tied in with the turn-based combat. Sounds like you just don't really like the parrying, which is fine. You don't have to, but the parrying basically allowed the game to have a level of complexity that other turn-based games don't have. I don't know how figuring out what we were doing on Black Friday turned into a question. Do you ever drop a big fart or do you let it out of your window? I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, do you think that if I have gas that I actually run to my window, open the window, drop trow, aim my butt cheeks for the open window and release out the window? You actually think that happens? Uh, anyway, it's a fair question. You think it is, huh? All right. uh, so I fart inside the room and smell it afterwards. Yes, what I do is whenever I have the fart, I have a designated room in my house. I call it the fart closet. I open the closet, I put my butt in, I rip it, I close the door, and I immediately seal the edges of the door so no air can escape. All right? Everyone has this. Don't you have a fart closet? I thought everyone did this. Yes. What are we talking about? What? All I wanted to do today, I wanted to figure out what we're doing on Black Friday. I thought this would be a good conversation for the podcast. Instead, we're talking about farting out of windows and in the closets. So I feel like perhaps we've been derailed slightly, and maybe we should try to get back on track. Okay? That is true. Helixification says, logically speaking, more people would be gassy on Black Friday due to the overeating they did on Thanksgiving Thursday. That might be true. You know, especially if, you went crazy with the dairy and stuff like that. I don't even know if we're going to have any dairy. We might not, because we're going to have turkey. We're going to have cranberry sauce and stuffing. We're going to have some kind of like mashed potatoes, but no cheese in there. We're going to have some buns, so probably like a casserole. Maybe there'll be a little bit of cheese in whatever casserole we have. We might have like a green bean casserole. More plumbers are called on Black Friday than other days of the year. Is that true too? Wow. Here comes Jasper. That light was Jasper jumping out of my curtains. Yeah, we're not gonna have mac and cheese. We try to stay away from heavy dairy stuff in this house. I don't know. All right, well, it seems like we're not gonna come to a consensus of what to do on Black Friday today. Some people do want Black Ops content. Some people want to see me like shop on Amazon and see what kind of deals I can find. Maybe I'll find nothing, or maybe at the least I'll just get the controller. But maybe I'll actually find some good deals and shop for them. I don't know. Um, some people seem to want me to react to stuff, but no one's talking about what to react to. So I don't know. What about a new camera with a big sensor and lens? Now, what do you mean by that? Do you mean a new camera like this camera? Because I'm sure there would be good cameras. The problem then is I would have to do research. Like, what kind of a camera do I want to get that is compatible, with my PC that wouldn't completely destroy its memory use? You know what I mean? Um, I'm sure that there's gonna be a lot of good cameras with big lenses that would be higher quality. My problem right now with this camera, I like that it's HD. Obviously, I could go up to 4K if I want, but I do 1080p for the 60 frames. But as you can see, there's a lot of noise. For example, take a look at my YouTube plaque right now. Do you see the noise? You can see it, right? See the little specks that show up on it? This camera just has a lot of noise, and I've tried adjusting the ISO and things. It doesn't do anything. So it's just the kind of camera. If I were to get a camera with a bigger lens that takes in more light, you're going to have less noise. Yeah, Sony models. Yes, noise exists in visual cameras. I'm not talking about audio noise. I'm talking about visual noise. Visual noise exists, but maybe you don't know about it. But that's why when you look right at this frame, you see, wow, all the specks that keep appearing on it. It's noise. And it shouldn't, if the camera had a bigger lens that it could take in more light, it would actually have less noise. It would look more crisp, and you wouldn't see that in the shot. When am I bringing out Christmas decor? Sometime after Thanksgiving, likely that first week after Thanksgiving. So, you have Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and I'll probably be here. I'll probably have that Saturday off. So probably that Sunday afterward. So that would be what? The 30th, probably November 30th is when I'll have the Christmas stuff, Christmas animations, all kinds of stuff going on. Well, if you guys want to talk, tag me in either chat. If you like the content, please support it. So far today, we got $27 to support on the show. It would be great to get some more, maybe get to $50 before the show ends. So that way we got a good head start before we start playing Outer Worlds 2. But I don't know what you guys want to talk about today. Like I said, excuse me. I'm trying to brainstorm ideas for Black Friday, but it seems like we haven't really come to a consensus. So I'm not really sure what to do. Oh, I have no idea, Cabal. I don't partake or pay any attention to that stuff. He says, do people make AI videos about DSP like they do for other people? I don't know. I'm sure there's a million AI videos about every single person on the internet. I pay no attention to any of it. Why do I stay away from dairy? Because, number one, I'm trying to be healthier, and dairy has a lot of fat. That's number one. Number two, because I have some issues with lactose intolerance. I'm not actually lactose intolerant, but if I eat a good amount of dairy, I can get gassy and bloated, and it's annoying. So I try to stay away from it. Okay. Excuse me. No, see, rather than that, because here's the thing. People are saying, what about charity stuff? Well, if you remember, last year I did a donation to charity, and I'm planning on doing that again this year. I'm probably just going to donate to like a food bank or something around Thanksgiving. But I like to do that for myself, meaning I don't do it as part of my content, because sadly, if you involve charity with your public persona, charity with the content that you put out, okay, there's a fine line there between what's charity and what's kind of like philanthropy for personal gain. So let me give you an example, okay? Someone behind the scenes, without anyone knowing, does a contribution to a charity that they stand behind. Someone donates their time to go work at a soup kitchen or a homeless shelter or whatever, right? That's charity, okay? Someone who does a series of videos on YouTube saying, hey, I'm going to go give money to homeless people, but I'm going to film it and put the video out on YouTube so I get 1 million views and I make money. That's not charity. It's not. You may argue it's philanthropy, but it's not charity. That's the difference. And if I'm going to do charity work, I'm actually going to do real charity, meaning I'll give, because I want to give, not because I'm going to make a show of it. I'm going to publicly do it. And I'm going to say, hey, I want to gain and look like a good guy and have people send me support because I was nice to someone else. I don't want that. Okay, I just don't. That's not, I was raised in a certain way. I was raised Roman Catholic. To me, charity is you do it for the sake of doing something good because you want to help someone else. And there should be an element of self-sacrifice, meaning you're giving something that could have been for you or your family, but you're giving it to someone in need. You're sacrificing. That's charity. As opposed to, oh, the only reason I'm even doing this thing is because I'm making money while I do it, so it pays for itself. Well, then it's not charity at all. It's not. So, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't wanna do that kind of content, okay? But likely I'm going to do some kind of a charitable thing, just like I did last year, um, with a food bank or something like that. You remember last year when I was doing DS Politics, on that episode, I basically said it was weird because our local food banks out here were scolding and criticizing people for donating food. They were saying things like, too many people donate this kind of food, and they're not sensitive to the ethnic groups that need the food at the food bank. You should be donating ethnic foods. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? People who are needy just need food in general. You think they're going to complain and say, oh, you didn't give me rice because you gave them a can of yams instead? If they're hungry, they're going to eat the fucking yams. They're not picky. But these people out here are so ridiculous. They're so fucking insanely liberal. Now, if you donate, be sure that you're giving ethnic foods to the food bank. And it pissed me off so bad that I said, instead of donating the food, because these people are so fucked up now that they're going to be like this, just donate money to the food bank in general and allow the food bank to get the food that's needed. That way, people will get what they want or need, and no one will criticize you for donating a certain kind of food. So likely, again, that's probably what I will do this year. I'll just go ahead and donate to a food bank, financially, and that way you don't have to hear, oh, you donated the wrong thing. Can you imagine that? Oh, I donated to turkey. Yeah, but we don't eat turkey. We eat duck. Why would you donate a turkey, you racist? Wait, what did you just fucking say? These people out here are insane. They really are. So yeah, no, I'm not going to be doing a charity stream. I'm not going to be having people. And the other thing is, with my detractors and trolls, if I ever were to do a charity stream, they would all say that I kept the money. They would say that I scammed people out of the money. I'm not going to have that shit. I'm just not. It's not worth it. It's just not. I'd much rather just do it for myself behind the scenes and not have this public involvement of bullshit and these trolly, dick bags. I don't want them involved in any way, shape, or form. So we're not going to fuck like that. We're not going to fuck around. No, because people would mess with it. People would contact the charity and say, the person who's running this stream is a racist piece of shit. Here's a clip from 2010. Oh, here's a clip of something he said on a stream from old school YouTube. Oh my God, how could you? Get out of here. Yeah, 2010 was definitely different. That's for sure. 2010 YouTube was a lot different from 2025 content creation. That is for sure. Oh, did I like the Sonic and the Mario movie more? Honestly, the Sonic movie, I didn't go in with any expectations. I unplugged my brain. I just sat there and saw if I would enjoy it. And in general, I did enjoy it. I saw Sonic 2. That's the one I saw. There were parts of it that I thought were awful and cheesy, but there were also some parts that I found entertaining. The Mario movie, I felt like, was a big disappointment because I did go in with the expectation that they would try to establish like a Mario universe. It would have lore from the games. Like, they just right from the bat said, fuck all that shit. We're just going to do something for the sake of making money. It didn't feel like there was care given. When you try to cram in Mario and all the games, Donkey Kong and all the games, Mario Kart and all the games into like 90 minutes, it doesn't fucking work for me. It just doesn't. None of it made any sense. It was just nonsensical rainbow flashes to me. That's what it felt like. I didn't feel like there was anything of substance there at all. No, I didn't see Five Nights at Freddy's 1, so I don't think I'm going to see Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Thoughts on Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition? No thoughts. I'm not playing it. We just played Fallout 4 last year, so I don't know why they're doing yet another edition, but I'm not playing it. All right, what else you guys want to talk about? Tag me in the chat. And can we get some more support for the podcast today? Like I said, I would like to end the podcast around $50 if we could. That'd be great. I'm being told YouTube is overrun with Tesla ads now. Really? Interesting. I don't know. I haven't seen an ad on YouTube in like years. Thankfully. Am I team turkey or ham for Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving is when I eat turkey. Like Christmas, I usually don't eat turkey, but Thanksgiving, I eat turkey. But I'm not a huge turkey fan. I'm not. Like, I like turkey, but I'm not in love with it like a lot of people who are like obsessed with turkey. I like it. We got a turkey roast, which is just basically like the breast portion of the turkey, and it's about this big. It's all meat, and all you do is you can either marinate it or you can dry rub it, or you do something with it, and then you bake it for several hours, and then you just slice it. So we'll probably have that with some gravy on Thanksgiving and then for leftovers over the weekend. But, I'm not a huge turkey guy that's like infatuated with it like some people are. Do I play horror games? Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing more of Tormented Souls 2, I think tomorrow night, which Tormented Souls 2 continues. And we have some games that we played last month that potentially will be coming back to. For example, Poppy Playtime or My Friendly Neighborhood, stuff like that, where they were actually pretty good games, and I would like to get to them eventually. What have I used to marinate turkey? One year we did a Cajun style like dry rub that was really good. It tasted absolutely delicious. Sometimes you can marinate it with like a barbecue. Sometimes you just put like certain kinds of spices and like a not broth. What's the word? A stock. Like you do like a stock and you soak it in the stock to make it have like flavor. There's different things you can do. I don't know what my wife wants to do this year. I don't know if she's decided yet. We did Animal Crossing. In 2020, we did Animal Crossing, the new one that was on Switch at the time. Yes, we did. For several months, actually. How closely did I follow Creature Hub when they were a thing? I literally never saw any content of theirs at all. I've told you guys, at the moment that I started to make YouTube content and take it more seriously, i.e. when people started to actually give me a lot of views on YouTube, I basically didn't watch anyone else because I was afraid that if I did, that I would then emulate what I saw. So I stopped watching AVGN, I stopped watching Nostalgia Critic, I stopped watching all other creators in general. And then I knew, I was well aware that I had contemporaries, but I never watched any of their stuff at all. I was aware that the creatures existed, but I never watched a video. No, I did not have a Tamagotchi. What I had was the Dreamcast memory card actually had a virtual pet built into it. So I did have that, and I messed with that a little bit, but I never had a standalone Tamagotchi. If Gears E-Day campaign is co-op, would I consider playing with Wings? Would Wings want to do a co-op campaign like that? I don't know. Again, I feel like people don't watch my content for me to do co-op. Like, I've tried doing co-op over the years. The years that it worked was before I was a streamer, and I was doing offline content, and I would do that kind of co-op with John Rambo. The moment that I became an online streamer, the streaming, the whole co-op stuff doesn't work anymore. The idea is that because I'm streaming, I have a live audience that I'm talking with and interacting with. So if I can't interact with you because I'm doing co-op with someone else, the stream doesn't work anymore. At least that's what it seems. So I don't think that co-op really works. 220, I know nothing about that. I know nothing about what you're discussing. Would I invite Ethan Ralph on my podcast? Let me put it this way. There's no reason to not have Ethan Ralph on as a guest, except I don't feel like we really have anything to talk about. Like, Ethan Ralph does drama content, does political content. That's the kind of stuff he does, right? He's not a gamer. He's not going to sit around and talk about that. He's not a lifelong content creator who can talk about the history of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I sit down with Wings, I feel like we have a lot more to talk about. With Ethan, like, if we had a topic, a shared topic, then maybe, yes, like when I had him on for a co-host for Smart Guys, wrestling was our topic. It was our shared thing that we talked about, and it was definitely entertaining, right? But I don't do the wrestling stuff anymore. So, like, what on earth would we talk about? We're not even in the same circles. We don't talk about the same stuff. You know what I mean? So, I don't even know what I would do. Why is Wings ignoring my messages? He's not really ignoring my messages. He just doesn't respond very often. So, like, right now, he's agreed to come on the show around the end of the month. We just haven't locked in the date yet. All I need is to know the date he's going to be on the show, and then we can advertise it and all that, but I haven't gotten him to lock in yet. And to be honest, I haven't really pestered him about it either. I think I gave him 2 possible dates, and I said, would either of these be better for you? And he hasn't responded yet. So I'll probably hit him up again in a day or two and say, hey, Jordy, just FYI, I would like to have the date locked in so I could start, pushing it on my channel so people know when it's going to happen and stuff like that, Well, I mean, he said as much. Stu Berto says Wings has zero idea of what his schedule is. Wings has outright said in his content recently, the reason that he likes being a gaming live streamer is because he doesn't have to adhere to a schedule. He can literally just decide, hey, I want to play games and turn on a stream at any time, start playing, and that's his philosophy. Now, apparently, there's a lot of streamers who act like that. They don't have a set schedule. They don't have blocks of time that they stream every day. Instead, they may be there, they may not. They don't even really give you a heads up. They just turn on the stream, okay? And a lot of people, I guess, are successful doing it that way. I don't know. All I know is that would drive me nuts. I grew up and was trained and raised to be a person that has structure, that has order, that has things laid out. You know, when I'm not even kidding you. Let's say, for example, this Saturday is my day off, right? Coming up. I like to have an idea what I'm doing during the day. And in my mind, it like plans an outline. Okay, at this time I get up, then I shower, then breakfast, then go here first. Then we're going to go here. Then we're going to go here. Then we're going to shop here. Then we're going to do this. Here's the options for dinner because we'll be in this area. Here's the possible options. I see it in my head as like a blueprint, a roadmap, an outline. That's how my mind works, is this analytical mind. Okay. And that's how it works. So for me, you know, that's just how I do everything. And I do feel like one of the reasons that I have continued to be successful over the years is because I have that structure. People know, all right, DSP, he's going to be streaming 5 days this week or 6 days this week or 4 days this week. Here's his streams. Here's his games. This allows me to have the variety of viewers that I have. Because you know, okay, today Phil's playing Outer Worlds 2, but later tonight he's playing Mortal Kombat. Tomorrow, he's playing Pokemon, but then he's going to play Tormented Souls 2. We know that block because he already has it in the schedule. So now we know when to show up. And so you'll have people show up for this stream for this kind of game, this stream for this kind of game. They know when to show up for what they want to see, right? That's one of the things, my dependability, my work ethic. That's one of the reasons why I've been as successful as I've been. If I didn't have that work ethic, if I just showed up willy-nilly whenever I wanted, if you never knew what I was doing, I doubt I would have been as successful and had the longevity that I've had. But other people are different, and Wings is completely different. He wants to do things a different way, and that's fine. Again, as I say, variety is the spice of life. Everyone operates in a different way. The problem is that makes it difficult for someone like me to work with someone like Wings because I want to set the date for when he's going to be on my show again. And I can't do that until I can get him to pick one and respond, and he hasn't done that yet. So that leads to difficulties. Like, I would love to set up the stream ahead of time and have it all, promoted, but I can't do it yet. I don't know who Cyrax is. People say, why don't you invite Cyrax to your podcast? Because I don't know who the hell that is. So therefore, I have no interest in them. Yeah, not everyone operates the same way in life, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having different ways that you make content, different philosophies of streaming. That's fine. Everyone, absolutely everyone being different is one of the reasons why life is so interesting. If everyone did everything exactly the same way, I feel like everything would be boring. That's what actually got to me is over the years, there's certain things I've decided to do that are different, right? In my content. I'll do something a different way. Then I'll be told, oh, well, you're doing it wrong. You should be doing it like the way everyone else does it. Yeah, but if I did it the way everyone else does it, what would differentiate me from everyone else? I'd just be exactly the same as everyone else who streams. Why do I want to be exactly the same? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to be. So that's why I strive to do things a little differently. No, we got rid of those a while ago. We don't do the hat, the vest, the glasses. That was a year ago that we got rid of all that. However, I did do a throwback event. In July, we called it Indivestance Day, and it went really well where for one day only, I basically wore all my vests. I wore all my hats. We did all this swapping around, and it actually did really well. People liked that throwback vibe. So we might just do that every 4th of July. Why not? That'd be pretty fun. To every year on 4th of July, do the Indivestance Day event. Yeah, what do you think about tonight for Mortal Kombat? Should we do more Mythology Sub-Zero? Should we try this Special Forces game? Should we try one of the weird handheld versions of Mortal Kombat? I don't know what you guys want for the late stream tonight. We're doing Mortal Kombat. I just don't know what we're doing. No, I don't do open lobbies. There's no way I could ever do an open lobby in a game with the amount of trolling. They would just ruin it for everybody. It wouldn't even be entertaining for anyone. When will we start in the game? In a few minutes. We're going to end the show. Like I said, we're just trying to adjourn the show. Any last thoughts or whatever? No, I have no desire to go back to Street Fighter 6. I don't know if I ever will, honestly. You know, it had its run. I played it for around 2 years, and I just don't really like it anymore. It's super boring. Like, seriously, it is such a boring game. When every character's just rush down, rush down, rush down, rush down. It's all played exactly the same. Certain characters are just ridiculous when it comes to what they can do, and others are just, like, so hard to play. Like, why is it that you give every advantage to 5 characters, and then you have one character like Lily who can't do anything? She just fucking sucks. Like, not a fun game anymore. It just isn't. It's boring. I watch people play it. I want to go to sleep. It's just a crappy ass. Every character has a pattern. Insanely samey game. I received a $5 tip. Hold on. You're not funny. He says, here's some Salvation Army red bell ringer to start things off. No, I'm pretty sure it's not a Salvation Army collection donation. Whatever that means. But thank you for $5. Now we are up to 32. 32 of support. Like I said, can we get to 50? Thank you for the first tip of the day. No, when we get Thai food for DSP Tries It, it will definitely be from a local restaurant. It's not going to be like a chain or anything. We're going to get something from a local place. There's tons of them out here. Absolutely tons of them. Okay, anything else, guys, or should we just adjourn? It seems like you guys were just not very talkative today, to be honest. I was hoping to get a lot of feedback about Black Friday. We really didn't, honestly. And usually you guys have more to talk about. It seems like today you didn't. I don't know. Right? Is the vibe off? Am I wrong? It seemed like people didn't really have much to discuss. Yeah, all right. Well, let's adjourn then. So remember, there will be no podcast tomorrow. Tomorrow's another major stream of Pokemon where we want to make big progress. I'm making a push to try to finish the game in the next week or two. And we'll be back on Thursday. Likely on Thursday, we'll be talking about a lot. Likely on Thursday, we'll talk about whatever happened in this state of play. We'll talk about the trailer for Mario Galaxy, the movie, and other things as well. You know, there'll actually be some gaming news to cover on the Thursday show. All right. And then no show on Friday because Friday is Call of Duty's release. Okay. Okay. Guys, thank you for a chill show. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I will see you all on Thursday morning where we will have a lot more to talk about. Thanks for chilling. For those who supported, thank you as well. And thanks for understanding. You know, a million people on the internet always want to talk shit without even knowing what's going on. I don't care. We're all good. We're going to have a good day today no matter what. Thank you all, and I'll see you Thursday. Peace out.